Have you ever wondered what skin tint is best for you? Even if you haven't, today we're going to talk about it. Today I am going through a number of different skin tint, skin enhancer, skin tinted foundations. They all have different names, honestly, like literally half of them. You could just call all these skin tints and we'd be fine, but of course we can't do that because that would not differentiate one from the other. This is very important. So I have gone through and tested these for the last, I've been wearing them for some of them for quite some time, some of them for not as much time, but I've been testing them, just the skin tints, for the last 2 weeks. And I have swatches of all of them, which I'll show you on my arm. And then I also have a short video, which I'll get into, that shows them what they're like, what they look like, swatches, when they've dried down. Because there is a distinct difference between the formulas in all of these, even though they're all skin tinties. I'm making up my own words. The way they dry down is very different. I did not include the Jones Road. I did not include the Jones Road because I feel like that is just a totally different product and it doesn't work for me. I've heard it works for a lot of people, which is fantastic, but it doesn't work for me, and I just didn't want to go through the exercise of using it and me being like, I don't like it. There's no point in that. So I'm going to break it down into what I call, there's basically 3 groups. I'm going to start by swatching all of these things on my face, which is why I had to break it down. I couldn't do every single product because there was just no way I could fit them all. I was like, yeah, this is not going to happen. Also, I just feel like it gets overwhelming at a certain point. Like you would just, at a certain point, you just be like, I don't care anymore. Like there's just too much. In front of us, we have 11 different tinted moisturizers, skin tints. Lisa Eldridge, Yves Saint Laurent, Chantecaille, Shiseido, Summer Fridays, Westman Atelier, Sweed Beauty, Dolce & Gabbana, Rare Beauty, and Chanel. So let's start with the Lisa Eldridge, okay? So this is the, and again, this is gonna be a long video because it's gonna go through all of these, but at the end of the video, and I always have timestamps, I'm going to have a summary of what I think is best depending on who you are. Like, if you like a really dewy finish, if you like a skin finish, if you absolutely must have SPF, you get the gist. But this first part of the video, the longest part of the video, will be each one. And I'll talk about each one and the pros and cons, the details about them. So in case you're interested in one particular one, you can go to that section of the video and check it out. I do not have anything on my face, on my skin. I have my eyes done except for mascara, and I have some gloss on my lips, but that is it. So that you can see these things on my naked skin. Lisa Eldridge comes in 18 shades. It is 1 fluid ounce. It is $49. This is described as a fresh, luminous, and light coverage tint. It's made of 78% of skincare products, and it creates a healthy and plump looking skin, which I think is true. It is a hybrid formula, and it's supposed to seamlessly tone, lift shadows, tone down redness, and boost luminosity. The way that she describes it and the way I've described it is think of your skin, but on its best day. It has no fragrance, no alcohol, no essential oils, minerals, talc, parabens, microplastics, PFAs, or gluten. It is vegan and cruelty-free. There's glycerin in here. There's prickly pear seed oil. There's sunflower seed oil. There's squalene. There's cocoa. I don't know what this is. I know it's a emollient, but that's all I know. Cocoa caprylate and vitamin E. Okay? So, shake this bottle up. You definitely need to shake this one up. It has an interesting, it's almost like an egg shape, like her other designs, with this flat surface so you can put that part on your vanity. At the end of the video, I will have all of these next to one another, so you will see them. And I will also show a video of the bottle and all that good stuff, putting the swatches on, so you'll see all of that. But for the moment, all you're gonna see is me putting this on the back of my hand. Now, I have this in shade T3. I find this to be the best shade for me. And I do have T1, which is a pinker shade. I feel like it's a little too light, and I also think, frankly, a little too pink, because my skin is actually more neutral except on my face where the rosacea is. So, the thing about this foundation, or tint, or whatever you want to call it, this is something that you have to put on your skin and let it sit. In fact, I would say that about a lot of things. A lot of the products that you do for like face products, it's probably not a bad idea. to let it sit. You want to rub it in just like you would any other face product and then let it sit for a little while. Now I'm going to keep this thicker than I would if I was going to put it on over my whole face. If I was going to put it all over my whole face, that's probably how much I would use for like my whole face. So I don't use a lot because I like to keep it light coverage. I don't think this one is something that you can really build. I know people have said they can build it. I don't really think it's for that. I think it's for just to even out the skin tone, make everything look like you said, like your skin, but better on its best day. I don't think there's a lot of coverage here. I don't see it that way. It's an enhancer, not a foundation. It's not even, the name is not even a tint. So I think this has probably the least coverage of all of these. It's really not meant to be a tint or a foundation. It's meant to be an enhancer. But also, and this will be at the end of the video, but I'm saying it now, it's also my favorite for all of these products. Now, that's for every day. For different occasions, I would choose different things, but this is what I now go to if I'm gonna wear anything on my face. It's gonna be this, like for every day. Running outside, going to the grocery store, you get the picture. And again, 1 fluid, these are mostly 1 fluid ounce. There are some that aren't. 1 fluid ounce, $49, 18 shades. All right, the next. This is the Dolce & Gabbana. It's 1 fluid ounce. It's $52, 30 shades, so a lot more shades. It's called the Blueberry Nutri-Tint. Why? Because there's blueberry in here. It's made in Italy. It's a skin tint designed for 24 hours of hydration and healthy skin glow, sheer to buildable coverage, and a blurring effect, which it does have. Its fresh formula feels breathable through wear and is infused with blueberry from Salento to enhance the skin's radiance, and glycerol glucoside for hydration. Again, 1 fluid ounce, made in Italy. This complexion-loving skin tint has water in oil structure and cooling agent, making it the perfect for all-day refreshing skin. Infused with Italian blueberry and glycerol glucoside. Its silicone-coated pure pigments ensure a uniform buildable coverage. Vegan, it does include talc, has no fragrance. So here's the thing. That makes a lot more sense when I'm now thinking of this, because I really like this product. I think it's very good, and I've enjoyed the way it looks on my skin. But it does have more of that silicone-y feel. The bottle I really enjoy. There's a little rounded top here, which is a little hard to see. Hopefully you can see it. That makes it so it doesn't do what the Lisa Eldridge and every other bottle does, where you get the liquid foundation all over the top of your cap until you clean it off. So this one doesn't do that because of this cute and handy-dandy little rounded thing on the top here. So I have to say that is a neat feature, which I happen to enjoy. The shade that I have in this is 2C. I feel like, and when you start, and I'll put up the shades just so you can see them all. I feel like the shade, I think it's a little light. It's not super light. One of my friends is getting the 5N, which is really the next shade up that wouldn't be warm. So we're gonna see what that does on her, and she'll let me know. But so this one has more, it feels like there's more on your skin when you're putting it on. Once it's been there, it doesn't feel like anything. It feels very light and it feels really nice, and it feels cooling, which is interesting because it does say that, and it does. It has this gel, cool, like the Chantecaille gel kind of thing. So if you're somebody who has rosacea, it actually feels quite nice on your skin because it's got this cooling effect, which I'm not exactly sure how that works. But anyway, it does have that. It does blur. It's very nice on the skin, but it feels like it has more of that silicone feel to it, which it makes sense now because it says it's got this silicone coated pure pigments. So that's what's in there that's making it feel that way. The thing about it is though, you can build this because once it sets down on your face, it's like silicone. You can put it over it because there's a silky feel. So you can build this one. You're going to get more coverage out of the Dolce & Gabbana than you are out of the Lisa Eldridge. You can already see, no question, there's more coverage. But I don't think this one blurs as well as the Lisa Eldridge one does. just my opinion. But it does have that cooling feature, which I really do. Again, these all have pros and cons, guys. There's only a few in here that I don't like, and I would get rid of them, but I keep them for testing purposes. All right, Yves Saint Laurent. This is new NU Bare Look Tint Hydrating Skin Tint Foundation. There are 20 shades. $46, 1 fluid ounce. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the wrong shade for me. I have it in shade 2, I think. And I bought this, do I have it in 2 or 3? I have it in 3. I should have the 1, okay? So when you see this on me, you're gonna look at it and be like, this is not the right color for you. I know it's the wrong color. And I would buy the number 1, but again, I feel like I have so many other products that I use that I love. It just doesn't make sense to get it. In the future, I probably will, but all right. So this is the Yves Saint Laurent. Like I said, it's the wrong color. I know that. So it's a lightweight skin tint with hyaluronic acid. Delivers buildable light to medium coverage for a fresh, dewy makeup look. I don't think it's medium. I think it's light. I think it's sheer to light. That's my opinion. I don't really think this becomes medium. I think it's light. This is the product that I recommend to practically everyone. I think it's extremely good for people who have drier skin, who have older skin. It has hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and mallow, which brightens your skin. It hydrates the skin, it plumps, it moisturizes. It's a great product. The problem with it, in my opinion, is the shades run warm. So, you know, even this 3 was not supposed to be this yellow, and it is. It tends to even out on my skin when I wear it for a little while. You can see it sinking in, so it's not too bad. But really, I should be the shade. I'm shade 1. It's a makeup moisturizer. That's how they describe it. And it's a hybrid. It's free of parabens, formaldehyde, phthalates, mineral oil, SLS, SLES, trilocyan. It comes in recyclable packaging. There is fragrance listed, but it's the last thing on the list. And honestly, I don't smell anything. Maybe I'm used to it, but I really don't. I really don't smell anything. This is a product that came out before obviously the Dolce & Gabbana and the Lisa Eldridge. That was the product that I would encourage people to get as the skin tint to get. Like, it's extremely good if you can find a shade that works for you. If you're a cooler skinned person, I don't think it's as easy to find a good shade, but again, I think it's an excellent product. I love the Yves Saint Laurent new NU products. I think they're really made for somebody who wants an easier, lighter look. They're really easy to use. The formulations are really good. And that product, like I said, I've recommended it to tons of people, and people do love it. Again, wrong shade, but if you notice, here's the Lisa Eldridge. You notice how this is just sunk? Like, you almost can't see it. Whereas the Dolce & Gabbana, again, it's the wrong color. It's a little too light, but can you see? Because I haven't really rubbed these in. That is very clear. And then the Yves Saint Laurent, it started to dissipate into the skin as well. The shade is still wrong. It's still too warm, but you see how that happens. So it's a really good product. I would highly recommend the Yves Saint Laurent if you're looking for something with more coverage. You can definitely go, I wouldn't call it medium, but I would say maybe instead of light to medium, I would say it goes light plus. I wouldn't say medium. Now this is my favorite product for somebody who's looking for this was before this one came out, to be honest. My favorite skin tint that actually offered like really good coverage and looked beautiful on and had an SPF in it. Why do I say it was? Because this is being discontinued. So I just bought another one of these. In my shade, it's very difficult to find. I have 125, which is Fair Astrid. It's very hard to find this right now because it is being discontinued and everybody knows it. It's 0.95 fluid ounces. I have no idea why it's 0.95. But it is, and it's $43. Like I said, it's being discontinued. So if you also this product, or you've realized that you are, after I do this whole video, that it's the product you love, go buy it because it's not going to be around for very much longer. It's the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Tint, designed to provide natural skin-like coverage. It works to balance texture, so it helps cover, if you have more acne scars or divots that you want, it's better for that. Hybrid formula contains 70% skincare ingredients, 24-hour hydration, light coverage, natural finish, long-wearing, waterproof, which it is, smudge and transfer proof, SPF 20. So I loved this one. 12-hour wear, which I think is pretty close. Natural finish. It's not really like a dewy finish. It's a natural finish. Transfer resistant, resists perspiration and humidity, waterproof, crease proof. All very true. There is, of course, titanium dioxide in here and other types of octinoxate. That's right. Octocrylene. And then there is a responsive sensory technology adapts to skin's condition, tone, and texture for true illumination. It sounds like a bunch of, this actually does look like, it does make your skin look better. You also will notice that this thing doesn't run. It's creamy, which is different for the formulation of these things. Like I said, this is Fair Astrid, and you'll notice this one goes on and it's almost like it fights you for a second because I have like a moisturizer on my skin. So it takes a second to get this to go in, but once it does, it like melds with your skin. It's really interesting. There is a shade lighter than this called, oh shoot, I don't remember the name of it. It's 115, but you can see this is already light enough. When this blends in though, it blends in perfectly with my neck. And you'll watch this on my face. It will actually start to meld. It's really interesting, but it creates a better texture for your skin. It's really interesting. It's similar to the Lisa Eldridge in that way, but offers a lot more coverage and has an SPF 20, and it's waterproof, and it has no fragrance in it. And they're discontinuing it. Now, from what I saw, there's a new version of it, but I'm still annoyed because I feel like sometimes the things that I like the most go away, and I'm like, am I just like the person that's weird and that I only like things that no one else likes, or what is happening? Anyway, so that's that one. Made in the United States, or it was. Okay, the next one is also interesting in the sense that there's a new one that just came out. And it has a new shade. I think it's called Opulence, which is very light. And the Aura shade, which this is a different shade. This is the Chantecaille. This is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer, 14 shades. And it's $70 for 1.2 ounces. So I believe this is the most expensive. I think this is the most expensive. Maybe the Chanel. We'll get to it in a minute. But anyway, it comes in this very large tube. It is more than, I'm not sorry, 1.7 ounces. It is more product than all of the others. So I guess you could argue it's not quite twice as much, but it's $70 versus $40. So I guess the price is in line. But again, how much skin tint do you use? I've barely used any of this. If you look at this compared to the Chantecaille Future Skin, the Future Skin actually offers less coverage than the skin tint. I like the Future Skin more than the skin tint. I feel like the skin tint is a little heavy, which I know sounds weird, but I like the gel more. I think also that I like it because it's a cooling sensation. I don't know. But anyway, so let's put this on. You can see it's very creamy and has like a heavier texture to it. Do you see what I mean? It's got more of a, almost like, more like the tinted moisturizers of old. It's very nice on, you notice it like sinks in almost immediately though. That's the thing about Chantecaille. Even though in general it's more expensive, and a lot of times I'm like, is it really worth it? When I go to use their products, generally, for facial products especially, they're better. I mean, their skincare is excellent. Not here to talk about that today. But anyway, it's a lightweight SPF 15 tinted moisturizer infused with hydrating, smoothing botanicals. They're known for the botanicals. Actives to offer the ultimate blend of makeup and skincare with a finish that's fresh and dewy, easy applying formula, hydrating botanicals, polysaccharide that improve hydration in just 1 hour. Daily use leaves the skin more radiant and smooth, pores appearing more refined, overall complexion looking even more perfected in the long term. Formulated without cyclic silicones, microplastics, parabens, or fragrance. Now, one note about this product, because of the SPF in here, it's an SPF of 15 in here, to keep the shade integrity of the skin tint, the chestnut and mahogany shades do not have SPF in them. Just a note. There are 14 shades in it, so it is a little harder to match. But did you notice how that it's just gone? Like it's sunk, it's gone. Like it just sunk right in. So if you're looking for something with an SPF and you want something that, I'm gonna rub these in just a little bit, you'll notice the ones that disappear a little faster than the others. You'll notice that the skin ingredients in this one are almost like a skincare regime. I think the product is excellent. I just don't like the feel of it as much as I like the gel. I like the gel. But what I would say to you, like, if you look at this product on the back of my hand, can you see how, not thick, but it's a thick moisturizer, almost like La Mer cream. So it does disappear. Like it does rub right in. It's not that. I just feel like if I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna pick the gel, which is like cooler and just feels better. But this does have an SPF of 15, which is nice. And it does make the skin look nicer. So again, there's nothing wrong with the product. It's just that when I reach for Chantecaille, I always reach for the gel. So I never reach for this. So again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you get the gist. Like it's like jewelry. Do you have jewelry or shoes that, although different, serve the same purpose in an outfit? And there's one that you just like more, so you never wear the other one. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's that. But if you're looking for, and if you like Chantecaille and you want good skincare, this is definitely going to do it. It has the SPF of 15. The Shiseido one, again, I like this one better, but the Shiseido one is disappearing. It's being discontinued. So I'd go with the Chantecaille. All right, the next one is Summer Fridays, and this is $42 for 1 fluid ounce. It only has 10 shades, but supposedly it morphs in its shades. It's sheer skin tint. Again, $42, 1 fluid ounce. This lightweight skin tint adds a touch of sheer color, and that is all it is. Provides a more even, healthy appearance, infusing skin with hydration, weightless, diminished look of redness, pores, uneven skin, sheer to light coverage, natural finish, flexible shades. That's what they mean. There's tiger grass in here, humectant blend, and rich emollients like squalene, vitamin E, safflower, avocado oil, and some other things. It's clean and vegan. It has a natural finish. The thing about Summer Fridays, I feel, is that this offers like the same amount of coverage that the Lisa Eldridge does, which is not really coverage, just makes your skin look better. But this one is very liquidy. You'll see when I show you the swatches, it dries down, it does, but it just, I don't know, it leaves this sort of, I don't like the feel of it as much. The Lisa Eldridge, just, you don't even know it's there, and then it gives you coverage. I don't really know how that one works, but I just feel like this one, it feels, I don't know, like a little bit of film. Not really sure what that is. It's probably the glycerin and hyaluronic acid, because it holds the water in, which is probably a good thing, but it just, I don't know. And the tiger grass, which helps soothe skin and reduce the look of redness, I've not had that experience with this. Like, I don't feel like it really helped my redness, like soothe my skin. The only one that I ever felt like it was soothing anything was the Dolce & Gabbana. It does feel soothing. But my favorite one for soothing, if you have rosacea and your skin feels hot, the Chantecaille gel, that Future Skin, that definitely feels fantastic on skin. Okay, I got called away. So this is dried down, but actually it's like a happy accident. You can see very well which ones have blended into my face and which ones give more coverage. This one right here is the E Saint Laurent, the new. Remember how I said it's a little too warm, but it actually blends pretty well? You can see it adjusts. And then here is the Chantecaille, which doesn't look like anything. And then here is the Summer Fridays, which you can see leaves like this. It's hard to explain, but it like leaves it's not a film, but it feels like it. There's something there. Anyway, sorry about that. I was away for 30 minutes. This is the Westman Atelier. This is the Vital Skincare Complexion Drops. There are 20 shades. It says makeup that works with your skin, not over it. Complexion boosting drops, give breathable coverage, radiance, bare skin quality, loaded with skincare, which is absolutely true. Drop by drop, our Vitality Complex improves texture, firmness, and radiance. Oil, ginseng, Subaki oil, ginseng, pomegranate extract. Never try to do things quickly. You always screw it up. Skin is smoother, feels healthier, and acts younger. Fresh face skin, recycled sugarcane. The bottle is made from partially recycled sugarcane. 100% BPA and phthalate free. It has sunflower and almond oil, Subaki oil, which firms, hydrates, and retexturize. Urban Shield Complex protects against pollution, blue light, and ginger root complex calms and soothes instantly and over time. Now, my my issue with this is that, and you'll see it at the end when we talk about, you know, the products and you see how they dry down. This product, for whatever reason, never really fully dries down on me. So similar to the Jones Road product, not the same, but similar, it has this very watery, very emollient texture that doesn't seem to ever dry down fully anyway. I think though, and I'm just looking something up while we talk, I think that if you have very dry skin, I think this would actually work really well for you because I feel like it would be so moisturizing, so emollient that it would sink in. On me, it doesn't. The Chantecaille does. You can see it. The Lisa Eldridge does. And in fact, most of these do. But this one really doesn't. For some reason, it just stays on the surface of my skin. It's 1 fluid ounce, just like all the others. It is made in Italy. Doesn't have a fragrance in it. Is vegan, all of those things. It's a very nice product, but it just doesn't work for me. For whatever reason, it just never sinks into the skin. It does say that it works best with the Westman Atelier Skin Activator, which that's fine. I know all products, they always say they work better with another product, like a primer or something, but I think it's interesting that it says that because I'm not exactly sure why, if it's a skin tint, why it needs that. But anyway, the shade that I have in this one is, I think, the right shade for me. It is 0.5. And you'll see, it does dry down, but can you see what I mean? And you'll see in the swatches later, it just stays very wet. Okay, so then we have Sweed Beauty. This is the glass skin foundation. I've talked about this a lot lately. It's $40. I get 20% off for you guys. Jennifer 20, I think it is. It'll be down below in the description. Again, 1 fluid ounce. It's considered a glass skin foundation. That's how they call it. 15 shades, a light fluid formula, flawless glass skin. Lasts all day. It's a hybrid between skincare and foundation, which is why I consider it a tint. Light reflecting, flexible formula, non-stop hydration, energizing seawater and seaweed, which is what I really like about this. Kind of reminds me of the La Mer products. Moisturize, protect the skin from external aggressors. Result is a rested looking, even complexion with a silky, luminous glow. It has like natural second skin effect, which I agree. It's not dewy. And I know a lot of people don't like dewy, especially oilier skin people. It does lift and plump your skin. It's oil-free, paraben-free, EDTA, which I don't even know what that is. Free. Okay. And it's clean and vegan. This one is more watery. And this shade I have is, I think it's 2. Is it 2? Yeah, 02. It is a little yellow, but it actually is fine when it's on the skin. But I want to show you the coverage that this one has versus the others. This one has a lot more coverage. Now, again, it is called a foundation, but it is a hybrid of foundation and skincare. So like all of these others. But you can see it creates this sort of luminous, light reflecting foundation. It looks like your skin after a little while. It's very comfortable on. It's really, the seaweed, something in it is like soothing. It feels very nice. It's not particularly expensive. It gives a really good coverage. It is buildable. Of all of these, I think this has the most coverage. The one that I would say second to that was the Shiseido, which again is being discontinued, and then the Yves Saint Laurent, if I could ever find the right color for me. One works, but it's a little too light. They don't have as many shades. Rare Beauty is $30, 1 fluid ounce. It is the positive light tinted moisturizer, broad spectrum. It does have sunscreen 20. 24 shades. They are considered flexible and they are a range of skin tones without ever leaving an ashy undertone. This is the only brand that says this, which is really interesting. I really love that because my husband always talks about getting I don't get an ashy undertone, but my husband does. It's no makeup in a bottle, easy to use with your fingers, super comfortable, breathable, instantly blurs. You notice they all say the same thing. Blurs, evens out skin tone, SPF 20 sunscreen plus vitamin E. The thing that's different about this is the sunscreen that's in it, and I'll tell you in just a second. Long-lasting coverage, weightless, moves with your skin, doesn't settle in. So sunscreens generally are in 2 different categories. You have chemical sunscreens, you have physical sunscreens. This one is a chemical and physical sunscreen, sun filter, and there's no white undercast for this SPF. And I have tested that unsaid husband. And it is true. There isn't a white. So I don't know exactly what they did. They said they created a positive light. That's literally the name of whatever it is they created. It does have expiration dates on it. In fact, this one expires this month. So I was like, I should probably use it. I'll put it here. And you can see this shade is, oh, now I've forgotten the shade. 10N? Yeah, 10N. It's a little light for me, but I was having difficulty figuring out what shade I am. This one's it's good because it actually blends in, so it's fine. But you can also see like it does offer a lot of coverage because it covers up the redness in my chin pretty quickly. It's got botanical blend of lotus, gardenia, white water lily, so it does supposedly soothe the skin. Cruelty-free, vegan, paraben-free, suitable for sensitive skin, which none of the other ones say, which I thought was interesting. And I really do like it. For something that has a sunscreen in it, you have the Shiseido, which is gone. It's not going to exist anymore. Have the Chantecaille as well. The Chantecaille doesn't really, like I said, it just blends. It goes right into your skin. Like it just sinks in your skin. If you're looking for something that has like coverage, you see how this actually has more coverage to it. I would say this one, or again, I would just say the Shiseido, but it's gone. So this one, especially if you have a deeper skin tone and you're concerned about that white cast, this product does not have that, which is great. Now, the last two products are the Chanel's, okay? So these are very similar products. This is the original. This is the Teint. And if you've never seen this before, it looks really weird. Very runny. It has these little tiny bubbles in it that you break up upon impact on your skin, and then it becomes a shade. Now, I have this one in, I think it's medium light. Yeah, medium light, which is too deep for me. That's an interesting thing. However, I only wore this, as you break it up, it gets more color. I only wore this in the summer and when I was younger. So I must have had some shade. And then COVID happened and then it's gone. This bottle is old, but it's fine. It's expired. I'm sure it's expired. It's my makeup. I don't use it on anybody else. But anyway, again, 1 fluid ounce. It is $70. It is, before this one, the Touch, I would have said this was my favorite, like light, luminous kind of makeup, because most of these didn't exist. In fact, did any of these exist? No, none of these existed when that first came out. So that was my favorite. And I used it all the time in the summer. That's my second bottle that I have ever had. It's a phenomenal product. It was the first of its kind. And it was this water fresh tint. That's what they called it, water fresh tint. Light to medium coverage foundation with a gel texture, pigmented micro droplets. Now other brands have the micro droplets. Chanel is the first. To create a radiant bare skin effect and a healthy looking glow. Featured patent micro fluidic, that's what it says, fluidic technology. Lightweight formula is composed of 75% water, delivering a burst of freshness upon application, 8 hours of hydration. Natural tamarind seed extract, known for its moisturizing properties, helps comfort skin and feel refreshed and energized. It does contain a fragrance. I don't smell anything. I never smell anything with it, but there's fragrance listed. So I don't know what to tell you, but it's there. So what this does for you though, when you're looking for something that's practically not there, just to give you a glow, this works really well. And in fact, I still use this even though it's deeper than my skin in the summer, because it gives you like it gives me a little bit of tan and a glow. It just makes you look healthy, but it doesn't have coverage. It's not a coverage product. It's bare look. The Water Fresh Complexion Touch, which is $70 for 0.68. So this is the most expensive product technically, because even though this is $72, this is 1.7 ounces, this is 0.68. You can see I've almost made my way through this entire one. This is shade B12. I now have it, I bought a whole new bottle in B10 because I like this stuff so much that I decided to have it in 2 shades. B12 is a very good match for me, but I like the B10 because it's a little less cool, it's a little more neutral, and I feel like some days I want a little more neutral, some days I want a little cooler. This offers coverage. It is light to medium. I think it's more light than it is medium, but I would go light plus. I don't think any of these are medium. That's just my opinion, but it conceals imperfections, even skin tone, adds luminosity, all of those things. Absolutely does. 12 hours of hydration, lightweight, refreshing, barely there gel texture. It's a great product, and it has no fragrance. Now, if you were to say, okay, but it's incredibly expensive and there are other products that offer coverage, I would agree with you. Dolce & Gabbana as well. Now again, see, I think the Dolce is just too light for me, but you can see it does offer coverage. I just think it's light, so I need to try out the N5. I think you can start to see though, you see how this is still wet looking? This is the Westman. And there's just something about it that it just stays wet. I don't really know why, but it does. This, as I'll start to rub it in, but you'll see it stays moist. Now this is the Sweed Beauty, and what you'll notice here, you notice how much more coverage that is? Covers everything up. Again, depends on what you're looking for. The Chanel, look at how much coverage the Touch offers though. You gotta say, it offers a ton of coverage for something that feels like it's absolutely nothing. Okay, so now I've given you the names of each, the price, the amount, the shades, the pluses and the minuses, depending on how you look at it, of all of them. Now I want to show you, I'm going to go through very quickly the video that I filmed of me putting these on my arm. It took me about 10 minutes to do this whole video, this part that I'm about to show you. I will condense it obviously and make it as short as possible, but I want you to see each one and how it goes on my skin because you see a bigger swatch. When you look at these and how these apply, I would say that the Lisa Eldridge is still the easiest of all of them to put on because of the fact that it's just simple, right? It's one of those things that the product itself is just easy to use. It's not difficult you have to shake it up, but other than that, I really don't find it difficult to use at all. You can see how some are runnier than others. And I would also say the top, I think the Dolce & Gabbana has the most interesting top to it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if a top really is enough to push that over the edge of the others. I do like the cooling effect of it though. That part I definitely like. So here are all the shades at the end as I've swatched them on my arm. You can just see by the way that they look that of course these are all different shades. There's no such thing. Even if I bought the lightest and coolest shade in every single brand, they would all be different anyway. So let's talk about what might be right for you. Now, my favorite, as I basically said at the beginning, is the Lisa Eldridge because I don't really want a lot of coverage or any coverage most of the time. Most of the time I'm going out, I just want something that's gonna even out my skin tone. It's gonna make my skin look healthy and glowy and radiant. And I don't really care if it's covering up anything. That's most of the time. So that's the Lisa Eldridge. I just think it's really easy to use and I love the way it looks on my skin. I think it looks fantastic. If I'm looking for coverage, I'm gonna go with the Chanel Touch. So those two are like my A1 and A2. Like, okay, if I don't really care, I don't need coverage, I do that. If I want coverage, I do the Chanel. If I'm looking for something that I'm gonna wear all day and I'm at a meeting or something, but it's like the summer and I don't wanna wear a foundation because I don't like anything on my skin because I get very hot and itchy and it's just a whole thing, then I would always go with the Shiseido because it's humectant proof. Like it does, humidity proof is what I'm trying to say. It's waterproof. So if I'm in Washington, D.C. in August, if you've ever been in Washington, D.C. in August, it's sticky. It's not pleasant. This works and I'm just so disappointed that they're getting rid of it. Anyway, so it works extremely well. My skin doesn't like ball up or settle into lines or anything like that. It still looks perfect at the end of the day. It's got an SPF of 20 in it. It's perfect for me. But again, that's being discontinued. If I had to say what would be best for somebody with oily skin, I don't know if any of these would be great for oily skin, but I would probably say the Sweed Beauty might work because it's a little bit more like a traditional foundation. It has more of that skin looking finish to it. I really like it. But the thing is, it's very moisturizing. So I'd just be afraid to say oily. I would just say more like normal. For very dry skin, I would say the Westman. Or for people who really don't want coverage, like they really don't want anything and they don't like the Lisa Eldridge, the Westman is the way I would go. It's not my favorite. I feel like it just stays wet on me, but if you have very dry skin and you don't like the Lisa Eldridge, I'd try the Westman and see what you think. You could try it in a store, wear it around. If you buy it at Nordstrom, they don't have Westman. I feel like it's one of those products you have to try because in concept, it should work really well for me. It just doesn't. Again, personal opinion. Summer Fridays is for somebody who doesn't want anything on their skin, and I'm not exactly sure why you're even putting a skin tint on, but maybe you want a tiny bit of something. But to be honest with you, if I was going to do a tiny bit of something, I would go with Lisa Eldridge in that case. Again, just me. Rare Beauty is great if you want a sunscreen, and especially if you have a deeper skin tone, you're concerned about a white cast. This is phenomenally good. Love that product. Absolutely love that product. If you're looking for something easy all around and you're not really sure what to pick and you have a warmer skin leaning, go with this one. This is great. This is a great product. I use this all the time. Again, it's a little yellow on me. This is it right here. But you can see it's flexible, so it almost goes into the skin, which is, I think, great. But it does lean a little warm. And there's not that many shades. This one's a little trickier to find a shade for, but if you find a shade, it's buildable, it can go on sheer, it feels really comfortable, it blurs, it looks really good. I do like this one. The Chantecaille one, if you're looking for something very creamy and you're looking more for skincare than anything else, this one. It has an SPF of 15. I don't know what the new one's like though. That's the problem. I don't know how they changed it, but I will say it's this here, which doesn't look like anything. That's this one. It doesn't blur and diffuse like Lisa Eldridge, but if you're just looking for something that just is a skincare, hydrates your skin, looks a little more even, takes away some redness, but has an SPF, and it has in a bigger bottle because this is 1.7, I would go with this one. If you really want a cooling product, Dolce & Gabbana. I like the Dolce & Gabbana actually quite a bit. I just think I have the wrong shade. I think I need the 5, and this is the 3. So I'm gonna do that, or is this the 2? I'm gonna see if I can try the 5 and see what happens, because I just feel like this is just too light for me. I'm glad they have a very light shade, but this is too light. I do like the cooling feeling of it. It does look really nice on my skin. Again, I love it. If this didn't exist, if I didn't use this all the time, I probably would say that's the one I like the most for a light look, like a light coverage look. But I have the Lisa Eldridge, so, you know. This one, the last one, the original Water Fresh Tint, I still love this product. It's just that if I'm gonna reach for the micro bubbles, whatever these things are, pigments, I just feel like I'm gonna go with this one because this offers more coverage. It looks fantastic on the skin. I love the finish, and I don't know, it's just easier to travel with. These two, it's just one of those things, like I gravitate towards that one because I just like the finish of it more. It's easier to use. There's more shades. I can get the B12 or B10, where this is just light, medium light, that kind of thing. So I like that other one more. But again, it does depend a little bit on what you're doing. Are you going out to a festival, or are you going to go for a meeting? Those things do matter. Are you in Arizona? Are you in Louisiana? Are you in Maine? It makes a huge difference. Boston today is a beautiful day, but it's 55 degrees. If I was in Arizona, it's probably 85 right now. You're going to want something with more SPF. You're going to want something that doesn't, for me anyway, run off with your sweat. Those are things you have to keep into account. Like this one, the Westman, it doesn't ever really dry down on me. So if I was in a humid climate, it would be all over. This one never comes off. When I am in DC, or if I'm in some place where I know I'm going to sweat, I'm going to do this one. I don't know how the Lisa Eldridge works in that because I have not had the Lisa Eldridge in those circumstances yet. Hopefully it does what I think it's going to do because it just evens out the skin tone. It won't, you know, create lines and have makeup running down my face, but we'll see. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to do. So that's coming. So hopefully all of this was helpful and gave you the the rundown of the skin tints that I have bought, that I use, if I have to rank them, bottom line, I would say the Lisa Eldridge is my favorite for a no coverage, enhanced, flawless skin. The Touch is my pick for best all-around coverage, formula, lightness, the way it makes me feel confident about how my skin looks, but it is the most expensive. And all around, if you were looking for something that works in any circumstance, can be really sheer, can be light plus, it's either the new Chanel, the Yves Saint Laurent New, or the Shiseido Refreshing Skin Tint, but this is going away, it's being discontinued. And this leans warm. Because of that, I would say the Lisa Eldridge and the Chanel are the ways that I would go. If you need more coverage, but you don't want to spend the money on the Chanel, which I totally get, the Dolce & Gabbana I think is a good choice, or the Sweed, which is definitely going to have more coverage. That's the way I'd go, guys. That's my breakdown. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm gonna go and take all of this stuff off my face, but I think you can see how much coverage this Touch has. Can you see, like, it? Now, I wouldn't put that much on my face, obviously. What I pumped out was like what I would use for almost my entire face. But this has much more coverage. It covers things up than you would think by looking at the product. This just smoothed everything else, the Lisa. The Dolce, you can see, has like a glow to it, but it's a little too light. The Chantecaille sinks into your skin and is gone because it's more skincare. And can you see that this one still looks wet and it's sticky, it's tacky, whereas the Sweed is not. You know, those types of reasons are the reasons that I choose the ones that I do. Okay, I'm done with skin tints for a while. I hope that was helpful, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.